O blithe newcomer, I have heard, I hear thee and rejoice. O cuckoo, shall I call thee bird, or but a wandering voice?
While I lie on the grass, thy twofold I shout, I hear. From hill to hill it seems to pass, at once far off and near.
Though babbling only to the vale of sunshine and of flowers, thou bringest unto me a tale of visionary hours.
Thrice welcome darling of the spring, even yet thou art to me no bird but a invisible thing, a voice, a mystery.
The same whom in my schoolboy days I listened to, that cry, which made me look 1,000 ways in bush and tree and sky.
To seek thou did I often rove through woods and on the green, and thou wert still a hope and love, still longed for, ever seen.
And I can listen to thee yet, can lie upon the plain and listen till I do beget that golden time again.
O blessed bird, the earth we pace again appears to be an unsubstantiable fairy place that is fit home for thee. How would you summarize this poem in your own words?
Well, To the Cuckoo is basically about a man who relives the wonders of his childhood through nature. And he hears the call of the cuckoo bird and is brought back to his days as a kid, and it makes him nostalgic, and he longs to find the bird, but he never does. And so that longing kind of brings back his feelings and memories again. Who is the author of this poem?
The author is William Wordsworth. He was born in the 1770. He helped start the Romantic movement in the late 18th century. He also had a deep love for nature, which also influenced his poems. What is the overall meaning of this poem?
The overall meaning of this poem is basically like the freedom of nature and the innocence of nature. It's whenever he sees or hears the cuckoo bird, he is brought back as a child, and the cuckoo bird makes him feel free because it itself is a free animal. It's like it doesn't have any human responsibilities or anything. And I think the author wishes that that was him again, so that's why the cuckoo makes him like feel like a child again. Some of the author's personal views.
Wordsworth's personal views influenced his poems and helped structure the poem. His political outlooks was one of them, and his thought of human relationship with nature, also the landscapes of his native land and region, helped him put it into words, and which created the poems. What kind of poem would you say this is?
I would say this is a lyrical pastoral poem, and it's basically a lyrical poem is one that it describes an emotional state, or it's like a rhyming poem, and then a pastoral poem is basically about rural life or nature, and combine that and you get lyrical pastoral. And then the rhyming scheme is basically an A-B, and the poem itself has 8 stanzas with 4 lines in each. How is this poem different from other 18th century poems?
The poem To The Cuckoo talks about nature, which most of the poems from the 18th century did not. It also talks about the youth and how he wants to almost like go back into it and help and to create different things and experience it all over again. It's also different because it doesn't talk about death, it's mostly about love. What is the political and historical influence for this poem?
I believe that the introduction of the Industrial Revolution may have influenced this poem just because it brought people away from nature and into like the idea of like money and power and greed. And the author William Wordsworth, he didn't like that, and he was in love with nature. So I think that whenever he heard the bird, he thought about how free it was from like all this stuff that's going on in the world, and he wished that he was like that again. What cultural context may have influenced this poem?
The Romantic was the Romantic. It was a movement that greatly or deeply appreciated the beauty of nature, the emotions over reasons, and the sense over intellect. With examining the human relationship with nature, there is creative spirits that emphasizes the imagination as a spiritual truth, and which influenced him into writing about nature. What are some religious things that may have influenced?
I think this poem was written around a time where Wordsworth was just coming back from his atheist beliefs to his Christian beliefs. And so he shows those newfound Christian beliefs by his praise of the cuckoo bird. Whenever he calls the bird a blessed bird, like it was sent by an angel to remind him of his past hopes and beliefs. Okay, for the first source, we used that to find information on the movement of writing that influenced the poem and the cultural context. We used the third source, that's where we got the poem from, and the other four sources is where we got the remaining questions and answers from, and where we got the summary of the poem.